All right, guys, so we are going to get started on 1.9, which is dividing numbers, whole numbers and numbers with decimal points. So I'm going to get started with on your own and problem number 6. So number 6, make sure I line it all up. All right, so number 6 is 461.7 divided by 9. So 461.9. 461. Oh my goodness. 461.7 divided by 9. All right. I always find it easier to set it up this way because then you can go ahead and use these lines to help you. So 9 cannot go into 46, so there would be a 0. You can also leave that spot blank. 9 can go into 46. Let's look how many times. Because 9 times 4 equals 36. Okay, so 9 times 5 equals 45. So it can go in 5 times. 9 times 5 equals 45. So I have to subtract that. So 6 minus 5 equals 1. 4 minus 4 equals 0. So now I bring down this 1, and it becomes an 11. 9 can go into 11 only one time because 9 times 2 equals 18. So I just write a 9 down here. It's 11 minus 9. 1 minus 9 you can't do, so this becomes 0. This becomes 11 minus 9, which is 2. Then I bring down this 7. My decimal point will be right here. I bring down that 7. And together, this would be 27. 9 can go into 27. Well, 9 times 2 equals 18. 9 times 3 equals 27. So that's perfect. So 27 minus 27, which would be 0. 0, you have no remainder there. All right, so then you go into, I'm just trying to find my answer page. So it's 51.3, which is perfect. Now I'm going to do number 7 with you. So number 7, I'm actually going to have you try it on your own, and then you can follow along with me through the work process. So number 7 is 45.75. Okay, so now I have to estimate first. That is my first direction. So estimate what is 45 divided by 15. So I can go through. I know that 45 divided by 15 equals 3. So that's my estimate is 3, which I just wrote up there. So I know that.
Mrs. Mosley, please.
Sorry, guys, we just got interrupted by a quick announcement. So I know that my decimal point will go after my after my ones place because it is a 3. All right, so now I go into here. 15 cannot go into 4. 15 can go into 45, and I know it can go in 3 times, so I write a 3 at the top. 45. Now I subtract. 0, 0. Okay. Now I bring down the 7. 15 cannot go into 7, so now I bring down the 70. So now I didn't bring down the 5. So it's 75. So how many times can 15 go into 75? Let me check. So 15, I would do 75 divided by 15 equals 5. So my decimal point would go after the 3. I'd put a 0 there because it cannot go into 7. And I'd put a 5 there because 5 times 15 equals 75. So now I just make sure I don't have any remainder, which I do not. If you would like to, not if you would like to, you need to check your work. So to find the quotient, the quotient was 3.05, but to check to make sure your work is correct, and with any division problem, you can do the opposite, which is multiplication. So I'm going to do 15 times 3.05. Okay. Now I start by saying, I'm going to flip this because it makes it a lot easier. 3.05 times 15. All right, so 5 times 5 equals 25, so I put a 5 down here. And then I put a 2 up here. 5 times 0 equals, 5 times 0 equals 0. Then I put plus 2 equals 2. 5 times 3 equals 15. So I put a 15 here. Now I'm starting in my next place value, so I put a 0. 1 times 5 equals 5. 1 times 0 equals 0. 1 times 3 equals 3. So now I add these together. And this should come up to be 45.75. So 5 plus 0 equals 5. 2 plus 5 equals 2 plus 5 equals 7. 5 plus 0 equals 5. 1 plus 3 equals 4. My decimal place would go there, and my answer is correct. I double checked it using the multiplication method. All right, so now I would like you to complete 8 and 9 on your own. I'm going to ask you both of those questions on this video. I'm going to hop down to number 10 to do that with you. It's not much different than these, but you just have to set it up first. All right, number 10. All right, number 10, it is written on your workbook just like this. It's written 21.24 divided by 6. So what makes this different than the problems we did above is those were set up right away how you were supposed to complete them. So this, all you need to do, this goes outside of this. So 6 divided by 21.24. Once it's like this, you guys should be able to do it. I want you to estimate what your problem, your quotient will be. So what is 21 or 20 divided by 6? So you can go ahead and estimate that, and then I will walk you through the next few steps. All right, so the estimate I got was around 3. So I know my decimal point will go after the ones. All right, so it would be, or a number around 3. So there would only be one number before the decimal point. All right, so then I would go, what's 6 divided by 2? Well, you can't do that. So what's 6 divided by 21? It doesn't go in evenly, so I need to find a number that it will go into evenly that is smaller than 21. So 6 times 3 equals 18, and that is the smallest number it can go into. So now I do 21 minus 18. This needs to be a 1. This needs to turn into an 11. 11 minus 8 equals 3. 1 minus 1 equals 0. So now I bring down this 2. This is 32. Now I need to see if 6 will go into 32 evenly. So now I check my closest number is 5, because 6 goes into 35 times, because 5 times 6 equals 30. So now I create this subtraction problem, which is 2 minus 0 equals 2, 3 minus 3 equals 0. So now I bring down this 4. This becomes 24, and I can see if 6 goes into 24 evenly. And it does. It goes in 4 times, and I say 24 minus 24 just to make sure I don't have a remainder, which I do not. And to check your work, you should use the multiplication method. So just reverse it. You use the quotient, which would be 3.54 multiplied by 6. All right, so I need you to do 11, 12, and 13 on your own. If you're short for time, just do 11 and 12, and we will go down to number 14. All right, so the directions for 14 are evaluate using the order of operations. This is PEMDAS once again. PEMDAS. All right. So our first problem is number 14, which is parentheses 3 plus 1, 1 plus 4.0 end parentheses divided by 9. All right, so what we need to do first is whatever is in the parentheses, because that's what PEMDAS tells us to do. So I would do 31, 3.11 plus 4.0. Notice that I am lining up these decimal points. 4.0, if you really think about it, would just be 4. So 3.11 plus 4. But for our purposes, we'll keep it as 4.0. So this would be 1 plus 0 equals 1. 1 plus 0 equals 1. I bring down my decimal point. 3 plus 4 equals 7. All right, so that is my answer to 3.11 plus 4.0. Now I need to do 7.11 divided by 9. All right, so now I'm going to line it up. This was my step 1. This will be my step 2. And it is 9 and then 7.11. All right, so 9 cannot go into 7 by itself. And if you estimate before you even get here to figure out where the decimal point will land, 9 divided by 7 will not be a whole number. So all of your points or your numbers will go after the decimal point. All right, so 9 divided by 7, you can't do it. 9 divided by 71, so I will check what is the closest number, because 9. All right, so 7 times 9. All right, the closest number I can get to that would be 9 times 7, which equals 63. So now I need to subtract. What is 1 minus 3? You can't do, so this becomes a 6. This becomes an 11. 11 minus 3 equals 8. 6 minus 6 equals 0. So now I bring down this 1 to make it 81. 81 divided by 9. So let's see if I can do that, if it goes in evenly, which it does, because 9 times 9 equals 81. So 81. So this would be 1 minus 1 equals 0. 8 minus 8 equals 0. So my answer would be 0.79. I'd like you to go ahead and do number 15 on your own.